Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our YouTube live stream hot stock panel for March. This month is entitled Low Priced Hot Stocks. And you know, you think about the situations that we're in now. How can you find some low price hot stocks? Well, guess what? Because we have VectorVest, we're in a situation where it wasn't as hard as we thought that it could be to find those low price hot stock. Man, try to say that 10 times really fast. My name is Glenn Tompkins, senior instructor here at VectorVest. I will be your host this afternoon. I'm always glad to be accompanied by the people who are in our department, the education department. We try very hard to provide you guys with the best use of the VectorVest software. So, what it's all about with the hot stock panel, we go through every month. There's a theme every month. This month, it's about low price stocks that are hot stocks. But it's all about trying to find what's out there to effectively use the software. And a lot of great ideas are found in these presentations of stocks that you never even heard of. And some that you may have heard of that will give some confirmation of maybe you should still be in the stocks or look for better opportunities to manage the stocks. So it's going to be a lot of fun. There will be a lot of banter. VectorVest, in case you're new to here, one, thank you if you are new. Thank you for all being here. Number one. Number two, VectorVest is a software that's been around for 30 years or more. We are a stock analysis and portfolio management system. And for those of you who are brand new, you will get an opportunity to take advantage of this software if you like as well. But what we're going to do is use the power of the software to present to you some hot stocks to take advantage of or to take a look at. And if you are new, don't forget to like our page, actually subscribe to our page. Trying to get up to 10,000 subscribers. We're getting closer and closer. Joey, how many subscribers do we have right now? 9,300 and change. So we're trying to get up to 10,000. The only way that can happen is with you guys. You guys talk to other people who may be interested in the market, get them to our page, get them to subscribe, and they will be privy to this information. And guess what? They'll get alerted to the next time we have anything live on YouTube.
Look at Maria, she's up 65% since October.
Somebody, is that what Maria says? Hi, Steve. See, oh, she's talking to Steve, so that's why you saw that. But no, that's okay.
I saw the 65%.
That's awesome since October 16th. That's huge. That is huge. So we're going to start with my picks. Now that we've got that all out of the way, my name is Glenn Tompkins, senior instructor here at VectorVest. I've been with VectorVest. And about 4 days ago, it's been 16 years. So I just made 16 years, and I love doing what we do here. So that's just from my own personal perspective. What you're going to see now on the screen is the 10 stocks that we're going to talk about today. They're put into a watch list, and the beautiful thing about a VectorVest watch list, outside of any other watch list that you'll find in the industry, is that our stocks are already shown in the showing one of our powerful indicators, the master indicator VST. These stocks are sorted by the best combination of value, safety, and timing from the top all the way down. So once you have the software, you put stocks into a watch list, it automatically starts to force rank them for you. So the stocks that we're going to be looking at here are MLSS, DAVA, INNO, FLGT, LXP, TER, COLL, Clorox, GOVT, and SPTI. The beautiful thing about this as well is on the bottom we can get an aggregate average of all of our indicators as well. I think that we did a good job of finding stocks overall that have a VST above 1. Notice that a lot of these stocks are moving up, so the RT values are high. Relative safety values on these indicators are all cast on a scale between 0 and 2. The relative safety value is almost where it needs to be, but somewhat unfavorable, and the upside potential in these stocks are above the value of 1. And these stocks have an earnings growth rate of 15% as a whole. So let's start with the 3 stocks that I will be looking at: MLSS, FLGT, and LXP. Real quick, we'll analyze them. Milestone, lower dollar stock, clearly overvalued. Because the stock is overvalued doesn't make it a bad thing. Just means that people are willing to pay a premium to own the stock. The upside potential, not quite where it needs to be. This stock will be outperformed by AAA corporate bond over the next 1 to 3 years. Relative safety below the value of 1, but what really caught my attention is this is a hot stock panel. I did find a lower dollar stock that is moving up in price right now, and it's got an earnings growth rate that's positive. The next one, FLGT, Fulgent Genetics. This stock also overvalued. Upside potential is better than the milestone. It's above 1. Relative safety, still below the value of 1 of unfavorable, but another stock that it is in an uptrend. Look at the earnings growth rate, 43%. And the last stock we'll look at is LXP. This stock happens to come in undervalued, good upside potential. The safety is slightly below the value of 1, but again, another stock that is in an uptrend with a good earnings growth rate of 22%. So many of you may know about some of these stocks, but may not. So let's go take a look at the graphs of these stocks. I'm going to go over to the graphs tab, and let's start off with Milestone. The biggest thing I was looking for in looking for a hot stock for this month, one, that it was low dollar. All right, $2.70. Some of you may say, man, I'm not going to invest in that stock, but that's the purpose behind this panel this month, is to find lower dollar stocks that are hot stocks. 1 year graph, stock definitely moving higher. Love the levels of support and resistance. Stock breaking through resistance, testing as support, breaking back above, finding another level of resistance, breaking above. Also on the graph, I have moving averages of a 3 and an 8 exponential moving average. Down below, I have volume and a moving average of volume. As I'm watching the stock move higher, I'm also seeing that for the most part, the stock is trading right along with its average volume. And earnings is the engine that drives the stock's price higher. Earnings were not so good a year ago, and they're getting gooder. Yes, I said gooder. They are getting gooder, much gooder than they were 3 months, 1 year ago. But that's a positive thing. As the stock's price is rising, you want to see rising earnings. So as I look at this stock, looking at the 3 and the 8 exponential moving average, with today's activity, the stock hitting a new high. Now, what does Milestone do? Milestone is a company that looks at injection technology, and going on with what's happening with the coronavirus, as the virus antidote or cure gets set out there, you're going to need an injection process to possibly inject people with the antivirus, or however you want to call it, the cure, blah, 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 blah. You need a needle. So this company is ideally, this company is ideally in the space of trying to come up with better injection processes. So it's used for the medical, the dental, cosmetic, and veterinary industries. And the process is they're looking for precise, efficient, virtually painless injections. Now, if any of you who are afraid of injections, well, this is a company that's in your corner trying to put together an injection system that's virtually painless. So what I like over the last year, stock's price moving higher, earnings getting better. I'm going to put this on a 3-month graph real quick. Love the bounces off of support and resistance. VectorVest will provide these lines for you automatically. Notice that a few days ago, where did the stock's price stop? Right at support, bounced up. Love the 3-8 crossover. Great opportunity to get in, or wait for the stock to break above its level of resistance that was found here. If I eyeball it, and guess what? It did it today, hitting a new high now over the last 3 months. Not only hitting a new high on above average volume. The volume level that I have here is a 40-day moving average of volume. I love the pops when they do pop with above average volume. Why? Because volume is conviction. So not only is the stock's price going up today, it is doing so with some, what's the word? Some chutzpah. Yeah, I like that, with some chutzpah. All right, with that being said, let's talk to my panel of people. What do you think, Todd?
I think that's a beautiful stock, Glenn. I like the breakout. Looking for the follow through after that. Off and running, baby.
Excellent. Steve?
Yeah, I mean, perfect pick. I've done a lot of breakout trading, and that fits the bill. The high volume, break of resistance. Looks really good.
Excellent. Jim?
Yeah, no, I would just echo that. It is pretty clear. I like the moving average, the 3 and 8, so you had a nice entry point right there where your cursor is there. And it looks good, yeah.
All right. So that is my first pick.
I mean, I wouldn't buy it, but. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Graham.
Well, you know, if you don't want to make money, don't buy it.
I'm just
I
joking.
know. I told you were the king of
I want
banter.
them to know I'm just joking.
I know, man. All right. The next stock I have, put this back onto a 1-year graph. Next stock that I have is LXP. Now, LXP is a REIT, Lexington Properties, again exuding the protracted upward move over the last year. The whole idea of when you look at a graph of a stock, the graph is the DNA behind the stock. What I'm looking for are the stocks that are moving up. Stock clearly moving up, sitting at $11.15. Look at that volume, right at its average volume, some days spiking higher. Love the earnings per share, higher than it was a year ago. Here we go with support and resistance again. How about this level of support sitting at the level that I can't read? Was a good level though. Look at the stocks pull back to that level of support, pull back a little bit to that level of support, and finally bounced off of that level of support. Thus the reason why I love looking at support and resistance on a graph. Look at that bounce. Look at the wicks. Put this on a 3-month graph. Look at these wicks at the bottom showing some buying pressure. Long wicks coming in. The stock hasn't crossed the 3.8 yet. So what would you look for? Well, if I'm a little bit more aggressive, I would throw on waiting for the 3 and the 8 to cross, or look for breaking above that level of resistance. The more aggressive you are, wait for the 3.8 cross. If you want more confirmation, wait to see if the stock can break above that level of resistance. It all depends on how you invest in the market and how aggressive that you want to be. Little quick story about LXP. They raised the net proceeds approximately $71 million by issuing approximately 6.6 million common shares. So they're trying to get more people involved in investing in the company. It looks like they're doing a good job of it. More people are jumping on board with the stock, driving the stock's price higher. They acquired 6 industrial properties for an aggregate cost of $264 million. This company is grabbing up properties in order to build more properties. They completed a 2.2 million square feet of new leases and lease extensions. So the people who they're already leasing to are increasing or extending out their leases, and they put on a lot new leases. And my big thing that I like about this company, they increased their industrial portfolio to 81.5% of gross real estate assets. In my mind, I'm going to call this a REIT on the rise, and it is a lower dollar REIT that many of you may not know about, but if you're going to think about getting into it, at least let the stock come to you. At least wait for the 3.8 to cross. Love that it's an up day today. Not a huge up day, but it is an up day today. Look for the 3.8 to cross. I think the 3.8 does a great job when a stock is trending. Look at this. Even when the stock pulls back, the 3 and 8 hold you in the stock. But when it crosses to the downside, that's a great opportunity to get out. It crossed, bounced off that beautiful level of support, rising up. Look for that 3.8 or wait for the break above resistance. All right. Todd.
It's an interesting pick because the REIT sector, I would say, is a risk-off sector, right? And so you see a lot of money flows in there. But you picked a low-dollar stock that has a pretty good growth rate, right? In the, what is it,
22%. And that's shown right here.
So I'm liking that. It's an interesting, if we get more rally off the bottom and we rotate out of safety, that might be an exposure for you. If you would, snap a horizontal line right above those highs in early February. I'm seeing a little resistance level down. Right in there, yeah. So we're right at that resistance level. So I might build this position, as it advances. And then of course the high that you mentioned before. So a lot of this one for me would depend on whether or not we see some kind of rally and rotation out of safety.
Excellent. Steve?
That's perfect. I'll build right off where he left. He beat me to it. He drew the exact
That's the benefit
line.
of going first.
I know. He drew the line I was going to draw. I would say buy it above, maybe 12.5 cents above
This one?
said resistance line.
This
Yep.
one or the one up top?
No, the one that we just drew.
All right, 12 cents higher than. Actually, would you go 12 or 5?
12.5.
12.5 cents above 11.28 might be a good entry price.
What is that high, Glenn?
The high,
Dollar-wise?
though, is sitting at, hold on, 11.81. We're not that far off the high.
The reason I would still do the 12.5 here, even though it's, generally traders apply that rule to stocks that are over $30, simply because there seems to be the propensity for a good amount of indecision around that level. And given the uncertainties of the market and things that we've had, I want to make sure that we're off and running, when a stock triggers these
And it
things.
does give you some headroom to the retest of the high.
That's right.
And then you've got support if it fails.
That's right. My 2 cents.
That was an excellent 2 cents.
It's worth 4 cents, Stephen. It's
Okay.
worth 4 cents.
Still not a lot.
I'll take a little different view on this, and I like this. So the first thing I'll ask Glenn is, tell me what the dividend payout is on this, right? So you're probably getting a dividend on the REIT. And I love the REITs. They're not part of the stocks I'm going to pick, but I was going to talk about them as a place to go. So you have a 42 cent, that's what, that's a pretty good dividend yield if you put the yield on there as well. So you got a nice yield on a REIT where, and again, I don't think it's going to take just a few up days to push the REITs out of favor. I happen to be, the stocks I'm going to talk about are going to be more about, I'll use the phrase flight to safety, and REITs is one of them. REITs are one of the industries or sectors that I would be looking at now. And so for that reason, I like it on a shorter term technical basis. I would wait till it broke through that resistance. Because it's a $10 or $11 stock, I might cut mine to maybe a 16th instead of an 8th above it. But same idea, same thing. And that's what I would look at. So I like it for several reasons. The dividend and whatever the yield has got to be over 4% yield. Plus you're in a flight to safety there in the REITs. So.
Yep.
Let's go put on the yield real quick.
There's several reasons to.
There it is, almost 4%.
Yeah, so there's several reasons to like your pick, Glenn.
What's the earnings yield on that one, just out of curiosity?
Oh my gosh. This is why we go through this early. Yes, I'm complaining right now.
Why? We're trying to inform the public.
Earnings yield. Wow,
we're liking your pick.
10.47%.
So that is a relatively safe dividend that they're paying at a high
agree.
yield.
They're making the money to pay that dividend.
So I just made your pick Mo better.
High five. Let me give you a high five. Let me give you a high
Yeah.
five. Mo better pick. There you go. Got a little bit of
Talking Glenn terms.
Mo better pick. All right. Thank you for that input. Let's go to my last stock, which is FL. And like I said, in that LXP trade, I love the information behind it. This company is growing in the right direction, and I think that adds more credence behind just how good that stock possibly is. All right, last stock, Fulgent Genetics. FLGT, same kind of scenario over the last year, moving higher. A little bit more jaggicity. Yes, that's a Glenism. A little bit more jaggicity than the other stocks that I just showed. But again, looking at these levels of support and resistance, breaking above and below, gives you a good sense of when the right time is to buy. Love this level of resistance, broke through, put this and love the earnings per share. Put this on a 3-month graph. Look at that breakthrough of resistance right here. Breakthrough, follow through, 3.8 follow. The 3.8 cross actually before the breakout. Look at that run up to the high. How about getting out when the 3.8 cross? To the downside, it falls back, tests this former level of resistance as a level of support. Beautifully done. Right now, a little bit of indecision on the day. Would love to see if the 3.8 can cross. Not a lot of trading days still left, but some trading days still left. Today looks like it may fall short of trading in its average volume range today. So, could you please explain into why would you buy it and when would you sell? So a lot of what we're talking about, Chris, is setting up opportunities to buy. In this case, look at the 3.8 crossover if you're a little bit more aggressive. Look at possibly taking out the high before you buy it. And if I'm using moving averages like 3 and the 8, I would use those same 3 and the 8s to get out of the stock. or breaking back through a level of support. Either one of those would be a way to take a look at. All right, any individual stocks, if we have time at the end, Nikolai, we will try, but we have stocks that we need to get through for the purposes of helping to inform you. All right, before we move on to the next group of stocks, any feedback on this?
Yeah, you actually had a little wedge breakout going into that, your crossover above resistance, right? So, yeah, if you went to that high back in mid-December, right, you'd have a descending,
Oh, you talk about back
yeah, you'd have a
here?
descending trend line.
Well,
across
just
the
connect
highs.
all the, yeah.
No. Go to the high there in like December 20th.
December, here,
Yes.
okay?
Now go down, connect the next high, and then the one after that. So you had this little descending pattern, right? So you had that nice breakout. You've come back to retest that that support level. So I like the technical setup. Didn't like yesterday's
Big down
market
day?
action with today's follow through necessarily, but kind of like we saw before, and you're going to see this on my picks too, right? We've had a lot of retracements in the correction here, so we're just now breaking off the bottoms. We'll see who has some legs. My entry is looking for the higher high,
All right,
and then decide whether or not that's enough headroom to get to the prior swing high
gotcha.
before I wait.
Okay. Steve?
No value add from Steve on this one.
Okay.
No, yeah, same for me. I mean, I guess the same idea. I'd wait for it to break through that short-term resistance. Honestly, I'd go back to LXP, and I'd be choosing the LXP before I chose this one.
All right, so question comes up. How are you identifying the hot stocks? Is there a search consistently used? Tom, what you have up here are 4 different mindsets on how we pick our stocks. For me, I just tried to find low dollar stocks that were just moving up. I used the VectorVest software to pretty much try to fashion a search in regards to that. But you'll find out that Todd had a different way of looking, Steve had a different way of looking, and big times, Jim has probably the most different way out of all 4 of us of looking for his stock. So it's not anything specific that we all use. We are all different in the way that we invest, and we use a lot of that knowledge to find the stocks that we are currently talking about.
But you basically wrote a custom unisearch for yours, yes?
Yes, I tried to write and then I adjusted and kept adjusting until I found a search to find exactly what I was looking for. And that's the power, again, of the VectorVest software. I can do a lot of things to hone in on what I was looking for. So stocks that were below $20, that had an RV of higher than 1, looking at earnings growth rate, I made the search to try to make that happen. All right?
Yep, and then just cherry pick from that list.
Yes,
So there-
it was a lot of cherry picking. It was a lot of cherry picking.
And that's the beauty, is you can customize the tool to work how you like to work. And so I'll show you how I like to work here in just a minute.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Now, if you're new to the software or would like refresher information about the software, click on this Getting Started video right here. Thanks to all of your input, here's a YouTube video that we think would be perfect for you. Click right here. If nothing else, folks, just hit the subscribe button right here.